Good evening, everyone. I am Adrian Ercalo from V84A FSM, and my topic is the Philippine National Building Codes. And the introduction of this topic is the Philippines National Building Code, or the RA 6541, is an act of ordained the Institute of National Building Code of the Philippines. It does not conform with the developmental goals and structures program of the government. It is does not adequate provide for all the technological requirements of building structures in terms of up-to-date design and construction standard and criteria. In the formulation of a new national building code, it is the desire and policy of the government to avail and harness the technical expertise professional know-how how of men and public and private sectors. First, general provisions. General provisions on the building requirements and site requirements are as follows. First, the general building requirements. All building requirements are structured as well as accessory facilities thereto shall conform in all respect to the principles of safe construction and must be suited to the purpose of which they are designed. The second one is buildings or structures intended to be used for the manufactured and production of any kind of article or product shall observe adequate environmental safeguards. And the third is building or structures and all part therefore as well as all facilities form terrain shall be maintained in safe, sanitary, in good working condition. And site requirements. The land or site upon which be constructed and building or structures or any ancillary or auxiliary facilities, there too shall be sanitary, hygienic, or safe. Sites or buildings intended for human habitation or abode, the same shall be at the safe distance as determined by the competent authorities from streams or body of water or sources of air considered to be polluted from volcano or volcanic sites or any other building considered to be potential source or fire or explosion. There are 5 types of construction. This will be the learner's understanding construction of building they see in public. It will also help them identify the materials of building making such infrastructures. The first one, the type 1, is shall be made of pure wood construction. Type 2 shall be wood construction with protective fire resistant materials and 1 are fire resistive throughout except the permanent non-bearing partition may use retardant wood. The third type is shall be of masonry and wood construction. Structural elements may be any of the materials permitted. Exterior wall shall be or incombustible fire resistive construction. The type 4 is shall be of steel, iron, concrete, or masonry construction and walls. Ceiling and permanent partitions shall be incombustible fire resistive construction. The type 5 is shall be 4-hour fire resistive throughout and the structural element shall be of steel, iron, concrete, masonry, and construction. Fire resistive requirements of construction. Knowing the fire resistance of the different types of building construction will help the managers determine what type of building is good for their businesses. This help by listening the trees of loss to the business and prevent this as well. Materials used to construct a building have different fire resistive ratings. This is the degree to which a material can withstand fire as determined by generally recognized and accepted testing methods. It is also important to understand that the fire resistive time period rating, this is to prevent another loss to the business since it measure the length of time a material can withstand being burned with maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours, and etc. Fire resistive standards. All materials of constructions and type of materials and assemblies of combination, therefore, shall conform to the fire resistive ratings. The first one is floor construction or a solid RC slab. The second one is solid pre-stress or the concrete slab. The partition, protection of for metal, structural members, exterior walls, and columns. All existed openings on or firewall shall be sealed completely to maintain the fire integrity of the adjoining buildings or structures. There are exemption building on the usage of the building, especially if it's used for ventilation. These are the examples of substandard buildings that have the followed minimum requirements firewalls. The first one and the second one example. You may see the difference. Maximum building height. The maximum height and number of stories of proposed building shall be dependent upon the character of use or occupancy and the type of construction, considering the following factors. The first is number one, end user population density. Second, light and ventilation. Third, width of RROW streets, particularly of the roadways, carriageways, component, building bulk, off-street off-site parking requirements. The maximum height and numbers of stories of proposed building in relation to local land use plan zoning regulation, environmental consideration or geological, hydrological, meteorological, or topographical. Lastly, prevailing traffic condition and availability and capacity of public utility service system. Determining of building heights. Building height limit or VHL generally measured from the establishment grade line to the topmost portion of the proposed building or structures. The VHL of any proposed building structure shall only be as allowed under the NBC rule. For sloping grade, perpendicular to RROW with a difference in elevation of less than 3 meters, the highest of adjoining national grade ground surface of finished grade sidewalk surface shall be established grade elevation. As you can see as the examples of this photo, you can understand that. For sloping grade perpendicular RRW with a difference in elevation of more than 3 m, the average grade level established grade elevation. This one is the different one. You can see as the different and the same level of the examples. Ang labo kasi ng mga words. The tower's spire steels placed not for habitation or storage may extend but not exceed 6 meters above the prescribed building height limit. It made of combustible materials. The height of proposed buildings or structure shall be also be governed by the following R or W based on limitation. If only one RROW services a lot and such is only 6 to 7 meters wide, a VHL of 3 stories or 9 meters maximum shall be observed regardless of user or occupancy, lot size, and dimensional, etc. If only one RROW services a lot and such is only to 4 or to 5 meters wide, and VHL equivalent to 2.5 stories or 7.5 meters maximum shall be observed. Fourth, if only one RROW services a lot and such is only 3 meters wide or less, a VHL equivalent to 2 stories or 6 meters maximum shall be observed. And the taller buildings are allowed for duly approved high density development such as planned unit development or the PUD. The following factors shall also be considered in the determination of the building height. The after a soil characteristic, lot location in relation to fault lines and earthworks belts or proximity to volcanoes and other geological conditions. B. Hydrological conditions such as the water table at the sites and distance to waterways and shorelines. Letter C. Meteorological conditions such as the frequency and intensity of destructive typhoons, monsoons, winds, rains, prevailing wind speed, and direction relative humidity. The effect of environmental condition on the building, structures, and vice versa, coupled with the effective control of air, noise, and thermal pollution, radiant heat, light and shadows, and etc. And the optimization of natural light, effects of traffic condition on the building or the structure, and vice versa, and the satisfaction of parking loading requirements in accordance with the rule. Availability and capacity of public utility service system considering the availability and adequacy of electric power, potable and non-potable water supply, drainage, and sewerage transportation. And lastly, need for applicable building safety and maintain system, lightning arresters, beacon, protective railings, and barriers, gondolas, windows, and washing system. Parking slot, parking area, and loading or unloading space requirements. The size of an average automobile or the car parking slot must be computed at 2.50 meters by 5 meters for perpendicular parking or diagonal parking. For addition, reference, please check the Philippine National Building 2005 rule or Rule 7, Section 707 or 4 or B. Maximum required of street of off-road. Come on-site parking slot, parking area, and loading and unloading space requirements by allow use of occupancy. Industrial buildings, factories, manufacturing establishment, merchandise buildings, warehouses, storage bins, and power and water generation and distribution facilities. For every 1,000 square meters of gross floor area, provide one car slot and one bus lot for every 100 workers. If number of workers exceed to 200, one of RROW or off-street passenger loading space that can be accommodated to queued jeepney shuttle slots. For every 5,000 square meters of gross floor area, provide at least one loading slot for articulated truck or vehicle, a 12-meter long container van plus 6-meter length for a long hooded prime mover, and one loading slot for a standard truck. Provide truck maneuvering area outside of the RROW within the property or lots lines only. And to be continued, class, and this topic is a long way process. And thank you and God bless. And again, I am Adrian Ercalao from BIT4A FSM. Thank you.